Oh, I should probably get my other one. Darn it. I can't. What does it say live? Wait a second. This is not the one I wanted. Oh, that's this. That's why. Oh, gotcha. So confused. So confusing. Live. There. Oops. Put you here. Put you here. There. Okay. As I do this, warrior training is about mastering your body, mind, and spirit. Oh, welcome to Rosetta Joanne's warrior training. Welcome, and I'm grateful that you're here. It's an honor to be able to share our time together and be on this part of your journey with you and be able to assist you in making spiritual progress. So making spiritual progress means escaping sickness, escaping pain and suffering, because we're in a sickness right now. Humanity is. We're harming ourselves and each other, and that's why the world is in the shape that it's in. It's because we've got a huge amount of people that are sick, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, and they're causing harm to each other and themselves. And healthy people don't harm themselves or each other, so that just shows you we're in a very big sickness. So making spiritual progress is just another way of saying that you're becoming healthy, that you're choosing yourself, that you're no longer going to allow yourself to participate in sickness, because that's what it is. The world is a candy shop of pain and suffering. You're choosing how much pain and suffering you're willingly going to put yourself into. Other people also choose how much suffering they're going to put on you. And then you've got natural disasters. So between natural disasters and trying to avoid people that are malicious trying to use us, we're also fighting ourselves because we're participating in all this stuff that's not healthy. Cognitive dissonance. When you know that there's consequences to your actions, but you do it anyways, does that mean that you don't get the consequences? Nope. Doesn't matter. Ignorance is not an excuse. It doesn't prevent you from having the consequences of your actions. We have to experience the consequences of our actions in order to stop. This is why an addict, we can't stop them, because they haven't learned themselves. They're not willing to do something when they're doing something. If someone's saving them from the consequences, then they're going to keep dabbling in it. If someone gives you all your needs and being met while you're doing something that's harming yourself or others, then they're enabling you and locking it in so that you cannot escape the habits that you're making, because someone is giving you everything you need while you make these habits and changes. This is why we're supposed to not encourage people to do stuff that's unhealthy, and we most certainly don't listen to others that are providing things that are unhealthy. Think about it. You think it's all fun and games because that's what the sickness does to you. It makes you participate in things that are unhealthy for you, and then makes you justify it, saying, oh, everyone does it. Oh, you only live once. Oh, one's not going to hurt. Oh, you're overreacting. All these things. These are all things that people say to get us to participate in things that are not good for us. So we got to understand that not everyone is our friend. There are many people out there that are not our friends, and they're using us and abusing us, and we're willingly going along with it because they've convinced us that it's okay. I know, because I was enslaved to them and didn't want to be with them, but I had no freaking choice. And so I sat there and observed as they all manipulated and twisted and did everything. Even though I said no for everything, they still forced me to do everything, and I couldn't escape. So I know how narcissists work. I know how abusers work. I know how arrogant racists work. I know how, they all work the exact same way. They're arrogant. They use people and exploit them and think that they're better than them and think that we're idiots. Like, they literally enslave me. They literally have their ethnicity, their demographic, remove me at birth, give me every disadvantage possible, and then put me in a home where they're getting paid. Farm people that don't even have their grade 12, that are really old, don't know how to do anything. So they take in foster kids and I get placed in there. It's completely disadvantaged, and yet still I rise. Wow, I'm amazing. It's only because of Jesus and the ascended masters, angels, archangels. Many people hate themselves. Yeah. And when they hate themselves, guess what they do? They don't usually harm themselves. They go after someone else, and they don't pick on someone that's stronger than them. They pick on someone that's weaker and disadvantaged. And so that's what happened to me, because I was put at disadvantage deliberately and maliciously by the Canadian government. And so the thing is about narcissistic abusers, they think they're smart. They think that because they can overpower you physically because you've been at a disadvantage, they think you're an idiot. That's the thing. So I sat there, because what am I going to do? When I would speak up, I'd get abused, or my children would be abused. They'd make my life harder, and I have to live with them because I had nobody, and I was on my own. I didn't have anyone that gave me pep talks, or I wasn't allowed to cry, wasn't allowed to have an opinion, nothing. So no one's talking to me. No one's being kind at all. No one is giving me advice, nothing. So I had no life skills, because that's how they treat us. Look at all the foster kids that grew up in the home that I grew up in that claims it to be so good. How many of those foster kids come for Christmas and Easter and all of those events? And what kind of a behavior problem do they all have? And most of them, I'm talking about that were long-term, they actually are very not in good shape. Mentally, spiritually, physically, everything. So you have to look at me, and then you have to ask, why is this person so different? And I'm not saying that they're good, so I'm telling everyone that they're bad, and then you're got to think, well, if they're bad to me too, then how did I end up this amazing? It's because of them, because they work for Team Jesus, and so do I. And guess what that means? All of my abusers, they're working for that team. Demons, literally. And I'm a demon slayer. I don't even know what that is. Sword. Okay, so this is my clean melon. Oops. Darn it. So today was a really miraculous day. It was amazing. What happened was, a friend here was white. She's actually done a few things that were not nice to me and everything, but I'm learning boundaries. Today was a very momentous day. So the one thing was, now I'm not saying this is the thing. People don't like me talk about stuff, but this is the thing. When you engage with me, you're volunteering to be part of my life, and I have to publicize it because I'm leading the world. I'm literally leading. When you're a leader, you have to be transparent, and you have to use your life as an example. And so that's what I'm doing. So this is a white person. She screwed me over a few times, but she's also very nice, and she does lots of things. And this is where I'm torn. I honestly don't know what to do. That's why I make these videos, because I'm like, realistically, when I'm thinking of survival, I should be like, everyone of that demographic, get away from me. But I don't know. Today we had a discussion, and she said, I'm not poisoning you. And I'm like, oh, you're not poisoning me. But this is the thing. I never speak up about anything. I never speak up. And so whenever there's something that I say and then she says something and it's completely contradictory, I don't allow it in my space, but I also don't want to argue. So I will say, we don't agree, let's drop it. She will not drop it. She drags it out, drags it out, drags it out, drags it out. So today I told her how I say, no, I don't want to have this conversation anymore. That's a boundary. And so when someone doesn't respect that boundary and they continue arguing with you when it's not life threatening. So these are just belief systems that is a conflict. It's not like you didn't dig out the trash which needs to be dealt with now, or you cheated. That, it wasn't that thing. Those sort of things you can't just say no. We're not talking about it. That's irresponsible. But when it comes to opinions and beliefs, especially when someone's saying something that's completely wrong and you're and it goes against everything, morals and values, and it's just their opinion, and I'm like, I don't want to talk about this because I can't. I can be in the presence of someone that does things that I don't agree with, but to have them trying to convince me that they're right in doing the things that they do when it's morally wrong, I put a boundary up. Why? I'm open to listening about the things that you say, absolutely, even if it contradicts mine. But if you're disrespectful, no. And if it's something where you're trying to cause an argument, no, because I'm not obligated to share my time and energy with you. And most certainly, I get to pick a time and a place when I want to have discussions like this, because there's not always a time for you to be on defense, because that's what it is. You've got these people that like to argue. And I explained to her that when I say no and she's persisting, she's trying to cause an argument. She's trying to cause conflict. I'm trying to maintain peace. This discussion doesn't have to happen to ruin whatever's happening, but they're trying to, persist, pushing a button because they're wanting you to bite. And I told her this. And so it actually was a couple of things that it was like a moving over here and then moving over there. And because I told her also that I'm vegan and I'd like to stay that way, and I'm trying to eat vegan. And so she will bring snacks and whatever. And her justification, one of them was that I've cheated on the things that I've said anyways. If I'm trying to lose weight and I say I'm stopping sugar, and then you come over with 5 chocolate bars and you know that I'm weak, I'm going to be like, what are you doing? Why are you bringing this in here? You know I'm going to eat them. And you're like, well, I know that you cheated already and you had one. What the F does that have to do with it? You don't, just because I lose control doesn't mean that you get to feed me all this poison. That's like me saying I'm quitting smoking, and then you come over with a carton to give me, and you found out that I had a drag. What does that even have to do with you? I told you that I'm trying to get healthy. Why are you trying to pull me the other way? I literally told her this. And what's amazing, and okay, that's just one. And I know that I'm right. Absolutely. No means no. And I also equated it to just boundaries, whether it's violating me or abusing my children or making the name of me, put your name on my child after I repeatedly say no, drinking alcohol with when I was pregnant, getting an ultrasound to find out the gender. No, 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 no. Yet all these people continue until you break down. Because and then, okay, so that's insulting enough. She literally said, you have the ability to say no. That made me turn livid. But instead of freaking out, I held it in. I was saying, I did say no, and you're still putting it in front of me, which is poison. And she's like, and I'm not trying to poison you. I know that I'm right. Absolutely. And what is amazing is that I still love her. I still respect her. And I am extremely powerful, is what I realized. Because today I was able to set my boundaries very firmly, but I wasn't like this. I was actually nice. I wasn't so like this. She might disagree, but I was definitely firm, because every time she said something to defend it, I said, you're seriously going to justify me saying, please don't do that, and you keep doing it? And this is what power is. I'm learning to do all these things, not be afraid, blah, blah, blah. But now I've done it. I've broken through a new ground. I'm now able to verbalize my boundaries. And because instead of saying, because I do say no all the time. No, I say no, I say no. And then they do it anyways. This was the first time that I did it firmly and but also respectfully and very clearly defined why. I gave her the reasons why, and just destroyed her behavior because it's unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. There's no excuse for not taking no for an answer, especially when someone's referring to their diet. Absolutely. And something that's not healthy or something that's sweet, anything. Because it's all the little witch that's coming up with the apple waiting for you to take a bite. It looks like a juicy apple. It looks like a gift, but what is it? It's poison. And the person giving it to you is saying, no, just take a bite. It's a delicious apple. I'm not here to poison you. Yes, literally, it's poison. I caught her giving me something with uh, coleslaw stuff in it, and she told me there was nothing unhealthy in it, and then smiled as she put it in front of me, and I was like, fine, whatever, I'll eat it. This is our habit. As a foster kid, you ate what was in front of you, so this is what people that abuse you do. They know that you're easy to manipulate, and they love to watch you destroy yourself. So I thanked her. I thanked her because she's teaching me how to give my boundaries. If she hadn't done that, though, I would still not have this skill because everyone walks all over me. But this was the first time that, because it was someone close to me that I knew, it was hard. It was very challenging, but also very, I don't even know how to, it's just so much. And it was right there in my heart. It did something because it was just shifting inside. The anxiety and stuff was releasing. And that's what happens. When people mistreat you and abuse you and you say no and they do it anyways, it destroys your spirit, breaks your spirit. And that is right here. That's your essence of who you are. It's your will to live. When people avoid your no and do what they want, it's destroying your will to live. You are the generation. Oops. Darn it, how do I get this back? You are the generational curse destroyer. You're excited. You have your son, and God bless you and all. Yes, God bless you and your son to do God's work. God bless you abundantly for the work that you do of God. That's the thing. They took their poison, injected. Oh, yeah. So you have an oyster that's all pure and nothing's in it. And then all of a sudden, the ocean spits in a piece of sand into that oyster. And after a long period of time, it makes a beautiful pearl. Now, when we pull out that pearl, do we go, oh my God, ocean, you're so amazing for doing this? No, because it has nothing to do with that. That's an impurity that got into the oyster, and the oyster made it something beautiful. Just like when I was violated by Dwayne and I got impregnated. It wasn't because of something that he did, it was in spite of it, despite it. I was gifted something, I made something beautiful out of something gross that was injected to me. Gross is a narcissistic abuser from Newfoundland. And so that's how it is with women. We are the oyster, literally. We do the work of making the pearl. They stuck an impurity in us. And then they're getting all the glory and asking for 50%, whatever, or full custody. And then our number one abuse is our number one threat to our life and our health and safety is men. No other species allows men to be babysitting and stuff. We're primates. How many of the mothers allow these male monkeys and gorillas and orangutans and chimps around their babies? None. A big fat zero. So my goal is to tell everybody the truth about the patriarchy and its a-holes. F the patriarchy! Oh, by the way, brown people have feelings and emotions because a lot of white people don't realize that. But it's probably because we can have the ability to hold it in and not do anything. That's the thing. When Stony Valley Contracting enslaved me and to a remote location with two people, and they assaulted me, degraded me, called me racial slurs, and threatened my existence, they are arrogant. The reason that I believe that I wasn't eliminated because I didn't panic. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I didn't beg for my life. I just stood there and looked at them because spirit was telling me, don't be afraid. Inside I was like, what the heck? And I wasn't afraid of the chick. I was afraid of the guy because he was blocking the way so I couldn't get out. And he's like, I don't see nothing. I don't hear nothing. when I was like, Brian. So I knew that he was with them, same color. So I was afraid of him, but God, Spirit told me just to stand there and look. So I did. And I was watching her, and she's like, don't effing look at me. And I was like, F word. So I was scared because I knew that if I tried to run for it, he was going to stop me. And there's two of them, and I'm in a remote location. No idea where I am because there's no idea. They worked there. And so I knew that I didn't stand a chance. That's what scared me. And for someone to say all these things, this isn't the first time we did it. And this is a gravel company. You think they don't go missing all the time? All these things. They said this to me repeatedly. And so I was worried about, but if it was just me and her, I was not scared of her. I was scared of him. Like I said, she was the one doing all the beacon off. Uh, Caucasian chick, skinny, with greasy, straight hair like a bob. And she talked like this. So if anyone knows somebody that worked for Stony Valley and she talked like this with blonde, stringy, greasy hair, and she lived in Fort McMurray and worked for Stony Valley Contracting, please reach out to me because I'm going to see her and the tables have turned and I'm no longer enslaved into her demographic. And so this is the thing. Everyone thinks that because I worked for God that I have to be nicey. I also thought that because they cleansed me and purified me, but I'm learning real fast that is not how it works, because otherwise people will use you and abuse you and walk all over you. This is the whole thing. We have to learn how to defend ourselves and hold our space, or others are going to infringe on it. So the Canadian government grooms Native people so that they have nobody to defend them, so they don't get the skills, because the other demographic's not going to teach them to survive. They all use them and abuse them and minimize their power. They feed off of them, using them as an exotic pet. Oh wow, you got a foster kid. Oh wow, you adopted this kid. Wow, you're such a saint. It's a power issue. The people that adopt and foster, it's like those that want a lion or a pet alligator. They're doing it for show. They're doing it for the glory. They're doing it for the saintlyhood. And to prove it, someone that fosters reached out to me. I didn't reach out to her. She reached out to me to argue with me about fostering and adopting when I've lived it. And she has chosen to take in children like animals. And she said, do not demonize me. I'm not a demon. I never said that word. So that shows you how I reflect the truth in them. She thinks she's a saint. She's saying that if she's not a demon, she's a saint. So people that work for demons will tell on themselves. She believes that she's a saint for doing what she did. And no, you aren't a saint for taking children from their families and their ethnicity. I stand my ground now. I have to, because of your right about them. Good for you. I want to empower you and stand up. And today it was empowering to stand up and destroy her with words, but with composure and knowing that I'm right and putting her in her place. And this isn't a hatred thing. This is the truth. I have to do this not only with her, with everybody. And she should be honored to be able to meet me because I'm a prophetess. And she treats me like that, and I get to put her in her place. I told her, thank you. I said, thank you. I said, I have to learn this lesson, and I'm not mad at you. I'm actually grateful for you because, I have to learn this, and you have given me the opportunity to speak my voice, and it's powerful, but it's like having all this pressure in a hose, and then you're like, okay, I'm ready to spray the hose, and they turn it, and it's like, whoa. If you're not braced and focused, then it's going to go flying all over. So this is how I've got to take all of the anger and frustration when people trigger me, and I'm trying to put them in their place without causing more damage, because that's the whole purpose of a warrior. We want to minimize damage, and we want to direct the damage at healing. Damage that's done to the innocent, we want it to be focused on healing. And then the energy that's coming back to destroy, we're supposed to take the energy and deflect it back, because we're not going to absorb it. Absolutely not. I'm not taking any more of your crap. And none of these people are going to take the crap that you're trying to dish me, because it's your crap. So a warrior makes sure that the crap that others deal goes back at them. So we're the shield for the vulnerable. A warrior is the shield. A warrior carries a shield, but they are the shield for the vulnerable. It's our job as a warrior to protect all of the innocent and the vulnerable. And so that's what I teach. And how can I teach it? Because because I freaking lived it. And I lived with the enemy, so I know exactly how they work. I know the psychology of it. I know all of it. And so I also know the healing part of it because I endured that. And so my life is scattered with a lot of malicious things that are disgusting, humiliating, degrading, and ongoing, and still current by this demographic. And I'm not, and my children are on that side. They've been turned against me, and it's not my imagination, because one of them literally said nose to nose, just this much dividing us, as his bad breath was in my face and his eyes turned black. He said, I'm going to do everything in my power to destroy your life and turn the kids against you so they never speak to you again. And so I was devastated because he was right in my face. It was disgusting. And his breath was gross. So it made me even sicker because I was inhaling his gross cigarette, bad breath, don't brush your teeth breath. And it was just, and then looking at his black eyes, they turned black when he told me that. It was disgusting. It just, the whole thing was like the worst, like poop and vomit mixed up, all gross stuff, rejected stuff in your face, and they're directing it at you. And it's hurtful to have the father of your children say that to you. Who would say that to anyone? And then to say it to a mother, that is sick. To tell someone that they're going to turn their kids against them so they never speak to them again. Imagine what kind of person. Well, that's the father of my children. So these people do exist. This is what they literally said. And when I first heard it, it made me physically sick, and I was very upset. And then after I realized what he said, I started putting the pieces together, that he'd been doing this all along, because every time he'd do something, he'd tell me to stop dwelling on it. And I was not allowed to leave. He wouldn't let me sleep in another bed, let alone another room, let alone leave him. He wouldn't take no for an answer for marrying him. I said no multiple times. I said never. I wanted to leave, and he wouldn't let me leave until the finances were paid off. And he was using my credit card to dine out with the girls that he was effing, that he was having intercourse with, while he was living with me not in a relationship, living with me, because I wasn't in a relationship. I didn't want to be with him. I never wanted to be with him, but I was not allowed to escape. And so this is how I know manipulation tactics of narcissists. So if it's happened to me, I know that he's not smart enough to figure this out on his own. People have taught him. Who taught him? Men. So if he's doing it, then other people are too, because he's not that intelligent. And because he thought that he was more intelligent than me. The only reason he succeeded in empowering me is because the whole society sides with him, and he has physical force, and he used threats and violence and beat my children and violated us and everything. So, yeah, my goal is and that's the thing. Abusers, they want you silent. That's how they keep the power. They take your power by abusing you. And then they use fear and tactics to make you, to make you not talk about it, and that seals the deal of them taking the power. Seals the deal. So for warrior training, we're learning how to be healed so we can be as strong as possible, because the stronger you are, the more likely you are going to survive. This is survival of the fittest, and a warrior is a survivor. A warrior is someone who's went through hell and back multiple times. A warrior is someone that has endured pain and suffering and escaped the enemy. The enemy isn't just different countries or whatever. The enemy is actually living within our family. The enemy is our neighbors. The enemy is our legal system and our governmental system. The enemy are men and women that are in the world trying to manipulate us and use us for a body. The enemy is ourself. So a warrior is aware that they have to strengthen their body, mind, and spirit all the time so that they have the best chance of survival with any attacks, because we're getting attacked by everybody, financially, spiritually, physically, violated. And if you're female and if you're brown, the browner you are, the more you're going to get used and abused, because that's a system that was created. Because this whole system that we're living in is man-made. That's why they have the city of Atlantis, and then they have the pyramids. They have all of these different ways of living. This is a society that was built by man. And so the other ones were ones that were built by women, and they were self-sustaining and had minimal pain and suffering. And then we've got this kind, and this kind is because of men. Thank you for this. I invite you to do God's work in healing my body, mind, and spirit. And healing all missing and damaged cells in my body. Darn it. I don't know if this is still good. I dropped it like 7 times out of the fridge. I'm wearing red. It's a pomegranate. Okay, let's see. Oops. Let's see if this is still good. Wearing white, probably not a good idea. I think these stain. Fine. Get a different one. So I've had enough of abusers, so I devote my life to teaching people how to overcome the abusers, because we've got tons of them around us, everywhere. Not only our friends and our family and strangers, but again, we have ourself. Ourself can be the enemy because we're doing things that aren't healthy for us. We're in charge of how much pain and suffering we endure ourselves. So why are we smoking and doing drugs and participating in things and relationships that are dangerous? We have to take control. And yeah, narcissistic abusers, they absolutely, their purpose is to use you and enslave you and abuse you. Absolutely. They're like a bear that once in your grips, they're very rarely are they going to let you go. And if they let you go and they get you back, they're not going to let you go again at all. So this is where you need to take care of yourself. Oh, these are perfect. I love pomegranates. You ever have these? Look. They're delish. They're antioxidants. They reduce inflammation. Good for your heart health. The reason I'm preparing it now is because I circulate through my produce and don't want to have anything going rotten and wasted. So I try to get everything before it goes bad. And this has been dropped like 5 times, so I thought it was ruined. I love pomegranate. Oh, yeah. Anywho, I guess I don't need to do that whole thing. I'll probably eat that later. Oh, yeah, look at that. It was a cool thing I got. It was $5. My friend brought me to a liquidation thing. Anyways, so Colleen is the one that got me to use my voice. I'm not mad at her because no one's perfect. People can be awesome. They break your boundaries and whatever. So this is the first time. This is the thing. We've been friends for a while, and it's been going on where I'd say I don't want to talk about it, and just goes on and on and on and on. And so I realized today that it's ruining my peace. I'm saying I don't want to talk, and then it just drags it out, and it just ruins everything because I don't want to talk about this because I'm not interested in being convinced, and I'm not to convince anybody. So if someone's trying to convince me, I don't want any of it. We're not supposed to convince anybody. That's the worst thing to do. So I realized today that that's what was happening, and so now it won't ever happen again because I won't allow it to happen again. And that's taking power back. Because when you have somebody that says no, and then another person that keeps trying to talk about something that's not important and just to argue, then that's a power play. That person is trying to cause conflict. They're trying to disrupt the energy. They're trying to take energy from them and lower their vibration and force them to engage in something they don't want to. So that is demonistic behavior. That's disrespect. So, wow, I got lots of food. Darn it. There's a hole in here, I think. Is it? Get a garbage bag. So anyways, as I said, I don't disrespect her. I'm grateful for it because I've learned a huge lesson today. And you can't learn your boundaries unless you have someone trying to infringe on them. And so I had the opportunity to speak all of the things that she was doing, and wow, which is great because not only have I broken the silence now of me defending, because before I would just say no, 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 but I wouldn't scream it or hit or anything like that. Well, I didn't do that today either, but I wasn't like, I don't know how to explain it because they've always, everyone that used me would just say, I'd say no, and then they just take it. Literally, no, no, no. I shouldn't have to scream. And so I didn't scream today either, but it was different. How is it different? Because she knows that. See, and the thing is, regarding friends, if someone tries to infringe on my boundary and I say no and they do it again, I have the ability to leave and not be friends with them again. I have the ability to do that. But when you're segregated and assimilated, you don't have the ability to do that because all of these people are, they impregnate you. So then you're linked with them forever because the legal system is making you allow them to access your children. So they violate you and that happens. And then also I have no family and friends and anything. So I have nobody. And while you all probably think, well, you just leave. No, because you need human connection for security, as in safety. There's safety in numbers, absolutely. And so if you have nobody, everyone will use you. So it's better to be with people that are abusing you than to be out by yourself completely in some situations. So because, and so what I mean by that is your chance of getting, okay, you're going to get assaulted or whatever by the people that are assaulting you. But if you're by yourself, then everyone that is predator is going to swarm around you and use you much more in a much bigger group because they're going to see you don't have anybody. If you're with the people, then the other ones that are predators are going to see you're with them. Even though you're different, they see you got somebody. So they're going to leave you alone. So there is some security in being with someone like that. Does that mean it's okay to be with them? No, it just means that that's dangerous. It's less dangerous than being completely alone because then everyone's using you and that's what happens. There's a mob mentality that happens when you have someone by themselves and no one's defending them and there's a huge group of people and they're all the same, but the one that's by itself is not the same as everyone else. If one of those people attacks that person, all the other people will watch, but no one will step in because they don't want to oppose their own kind, and they just sit there and watch and observe. And then the rest of the sick ones will join in, and it grows and it grows, and that one person is used and abused. This is a fact. This is actually, that's great. So my life is like a human experiment, and I'm able to express it in very scientific, defined, specific terms that don't leave any room for arguing because I lived it and I know how human psychology works and I know how, well, at least for this demographic, because I know that other demographics don't do that because I've seen it. It's only with this demographic. They really like picking on people that aren't their own. And it pisses me off. Thank you. Got your words of experience, and I am there too. Got only me. Have a great night. Oh, thank you, Sneaks. Have a great night. Sorry that you don't have only you. It seems like it because all the other people that care about you are strategically placed everywhere else except for close to you. Because if you're in a home where you're the only one that is the good one and they're all using and abusing you, then that means you're the medicine. You came here spiritually to be put into the infection so that you could experience all of the dark and bring light to it. So it's predictable. If you're going to go and be medicine put into a petri dish of all the infection is going to try to attack the cure and try to destroy it. That's how it works when you take antibiotics. You take the antibiotics, all the infection is going to go, whoa, we got a new enemy here. And then they're all like, yeah, trying to destroy the antibiotics. And sometimes the antibiotics win, sometimes it doesn't win. So this is what darkness, humans do. The infected humans, they see someone that is working for light and they seek to destroy them. It's not doesn't justify it. It's not an excuse. It's why they do it. And because they're working for the opposite team, their goal is to make as much pain and suffering as possible and bring everyone to the dark side. So that's what they're doing. They're willingly choosing it. It's not necessary. They're choosing it and it's unacceptable. Woo! It's my garbage. Okay. Oh no. I should tie that in the knot. The whole point was so I don't get fruit flies. So, yeah, so today was a momentous day. Now I've set my boundaries, which is also cool because as soon as it happened, while it was happening, I was, holy crap. I was like, wow, as I'm giving her crap, I'm just thinking this is empowering. It's really hitting me right here. And the thing is, since my spiritual awakening, every time I have a big accomplishment like this, where it's bringing me back into my power, something amazing happens. So I'm excited because it's like the more skills you get, the more responsibility you get. So I just broke through a barrier where I'm using my voice and got the power inside me to defend my position and to not let people impede in my peace, and you'd be able to verbalize it in a way that they understand and can't deny it because it puts them in their space because they think it's not, I'm not doing that, blah, blah, blah. But when I say it the way that I do, it is truth, and truth is power. And this is the thing, this is what Jesus Christ talked about. He's told the truth and he told it in a way that made everything shake. And listen, it's undebatable. So when I say something, she knows that I'm telling the truth, that it's a power struggle, that she's literally trying to, destroy my peace. This is huge, very huge. So for me to be able to accomplish this is amazing. And also I'm tutoring kids and in their school. And as I'm tutoring them, I'm also teaching them about consciousness and self-empowerment and how not to take things personally and all of these things. So I'm applying it. And so when we do spelling words, I'll actually use a sentence about self-empowerment. And so the kids are getting amazing time with me, and I'm using it all as potential. They are with me for 2 hours, and I make sure that they leave knowing a whole bunch of stuff to make their life easier. And they're eager to listen because they don't want any more problems. They do not want any problems. They've had enough problems already. And I'm unfortunately breaking it to them that doesn't get any easier, that the children become adults and there's jerks everywhere where we work and when we just neighbors everywhere, our partners that we pick. And so I'm teaching them how to choose healthy partners when they grow up and choose people to date that are healthy and all of these things that I should have been told that would have eliminated a lot of pain and suffering. And so this is really a powerful day. What day is it anyways? It's the 27th. No, it isn't. 5th. What is it? I don't even know. December 4th. Wow, it's December 4th. Crazy. Anyways, thank you for watching. Put these away now. Put that down there. I got a bead. I just sweat. Okay. I got a bead in I stepped on a bead. I was beading. Oh, yeah. See those spiders on the fridge? Look at this. I made these. I didn't bend the legs properly yet. I made like 6 of them today. These, look. So I got to bend the legs better. I just made them so I didn't have a chance to fix the legs. Because I have to take them to the market. These 2 are brown, look. And so I don't want to bend them too much. I'll just wait till I get to the market and then bend them. So I made those today. I love making stuff. Ow. So thank you for following. Oh, look, I don't know what's going on with Facebook. It cuts in and out and in and out and in and out. But Jody is watching. Hey, Jody. And Elizabeth. Shout out. Woo, woo. So, yeah, so I just finished making a banner that says Warrior Training. So it's going to go on my market table as well. And I'm going to be teaching people skills as they stop by and make their life easier. Give them some messages, some divinely gifted messages from spirit. No. I'm creating my reality. Whatever I focus on is where I'm going. Do I want to give psychic messages? No. I mean, I do. I love doing it, but no, that's the thing. I'm headed here because I get to create my reality. I'm going to be giving messages to all humanity, not one-on-one. So you guys just stop. I'm giving it this way, and I'm teaching, and I'm also scouting. So when I'm at my market table and I'm talking about the warrior training, I'm scouting for those that are going to be doing God's work, because I've got cleansed and blessed. So now that my energy is pure, and I'm to share that knowledge with those that are thirstiest for it. So I'm seeking the youth, because the adults have already had the trauma and they have been poisoned with everything. I've got to get the children before they get too indoctrinated. So younger kids. So I think that I'll be focusing probably grades 3 to 6 or something before they hit high school for sure. So they can have these skills to be a leader, to be confident, to not take things personally, to understand human psychology. So they understand why bullies are bullying, to be able to have the ability to respond to problems in a logical way, to get themselves out of problems and have the confidence to reach, to teach, to contact parents and whoever's needed to resolve the problems. So we have the ability to minimize our pain and suffering. And the goal for me is to reach as many children as possible. Adults too, yeah, that's why I do this. But because I'm not leaving anyone out, but my main focus is the children. And this is how I feel is the best way. If anyone has any better ideas, then I'm open to them, because I'm medicine for God to bring healing to all of us. And if anyone has suggestions that's going to help me get these messages out, then I'm more than willing to listen to them. So right now I'm writing books all the time. They're free. I am going to have one for sale that I was supposed to put out yesterday, and it's all done. I just got to upload my picture of the painting I drew or painted and put it onto the cover. And then as soon as I put on my cover, then I just have to download it to my computer, then upload it to Drive, and then sell it for $20 each, I think. Because it says the going rate for my book is about $70, because it's a workbook / book on, it's called Stealing Motherhood, and it's about how men intervene in the mother-child relationship through the patriarchy and just relationships, and how they groom children to be divided against their mother, what a mother is, what our purpose is, and how this is affecting us, and how to respond in a healthy way when your child comes, to avoid conflict, that sort of thing. So it's a very good book, and every sentence is, meant to have very powerful message in it, so that there's no fillers. It's just straight power, knowledge, kind of like how I talk. Well, no, not like that, because I go all over. But it's a good book, and it has a workbook with activities, so it's a healing book as well, meaning it has healing activities in there that help you process your own experiences and alleviate yourself from some of the stress and trauma that's involved with it. So we have the ability to heal. Our body naturally heals itself. If you have an open wound, it naturally will scab over and heal on its own if we're not picking at it and stuff. We cannot heal if we're in the same environment that made us sick, or an environment that's picking at what made us sick, like they're triggering us. Because that's not someone that's really nice. If there's someone that keeps sticking their finger and digging it in your wound, that's not nice. And that's what narcissistic abusers are. They can either be the first one that abused us and they continue it, or it can be a second one that comes in and they like you because you've been abused, because they see that you're easy to manipulate, and they draw you into a relationship, and then they continue picking at your wounds and gaslighting you to stay. And so I understand all of these tactics. This is what it is. It's all manipulation, ways to get you to behave in a way that they want you to, and it's not a healthy way for you mentally or spiritually, but it is beneficial for the abuser. They get enjoyment out of seeing people harm themselves and others. They get enjoyment out of seeing mothers being distanced from their children, because a mother is the child, a child is the mother. Just like an oyster gets a piece of sand and impurity gets in there. It's a piece of sand. That sand is an impurity and it doesn't belong in there. And what happens? That oyster uses that sand and envelopes it in something beautiful to turn something ugly into something nice. I was violated. I was used and abused, and all of these impurities turned into most beautiful babies. And we don't thank the ocean for the pearl, we thank the oyster. And so the patriarchy has taught us to disrespect the mother and take all the glory of parenting. And that's why our children and women are abused at such a high rate. Any hooser, healing can't happen if you're intoxicated. Sobriety is necessary for healing. So if we want to do God's work, I encourage you to get sober completely. No more alcohol, none. Saying, oh, wine's this, wine's that. There's over 4,000 different versions of the Bible, and things were added into some, and things were taken out of some, and everything was twisted. That's why there's so many different versions and different things. And so you've got to start realizing that alcohol is alcohol is alcohol. And it is demonic, and it has bad spirits in with it, and same with wine. And you want to prove that it's not? How many people do you see that drink wine all the time and you say it's poison? They're like, no, it's not. They turn just angry. Whoa, holy cow, chill out. I'm just telling the truth. And they freak out. It's because they have an addiction problem. They don't want to give it up. They don't want to admit the truth. And so all the things that were introduced to Turtle Island that were unhealthy were not First Nations. Indigenous people did not introduce money. They did not introduce all these infections. They did not introduce celebrities. They did not introduce, pornographic stuff. They didn't. So what I'm getting at is this all is colonization culture. The purpose of colonization is seek and destroy, to eliminate the original inhabitants. That's what the purpose of, look up the definition. Colonization is to eliminate the original inhabitants and force yourself in there and take over, take control. And so that's what happened. And all of the things that they are has now spilled all out. So celebrities, that's part of them, the food with chemicals and stuff, the food colorings, the side effects, all done purposely. So what's interesting is that you got a group that's in charge. They colonize and try to destroy the original inhabitants, and then they put food colorings and all of these things in the food, and then they open the borders, and what do they invite in? More brown people. Think about this. This is how you do a trap. A trap is a bear trap, and they say, or a rat trap. They say we can get one, but why not get more? And so if the water's poisoned and the food's got chemicals and stuff, what do you think it's doing to the people? And now the borders are open. What color is coming in? What color is coming in? What color is coming in? I'll leave you with that. I love you very much. The truth is power. Good evening.